Hello everybody and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where we always have something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I am your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Blaylock. And today, guys, we're going to be looking at some boys who did not meet expectations this season. We came in expecting one thing. We did not receive that, whether it was off-the-field antics or just bad on-field performance. Just a bunch of things just going wrong. These guys, they disappointed us. Before we get into our list, though, please make sure to like, subscribe, and use the code TODAYJAYS to get some sweet deals and some discounts. The link will be in the description. Also, $3 a month to become a Patreon member. Shout out and thank you to all you guys. All right, big man, let's just rip the freaking Band-Aid off. There is a Toronto Blue Jay on this list. We hate to have him here, but let's face it, we're pretty bloody disappointed at what he's done so far. That guy is not Yusei Kikuchi, which I think some of you guys might be thinking it is. He's bad. We hate him.
We all knew he was bad.
But the thing is, I knew he was going to be bad.
We already knew this.
Exactly.
Disappointing.
This guy, I did not know was going to be this bad.
This is disappointing. It's Jose Berrios. I mean, you probably all guessed it, man. Guys, like, this guy was so good. He got paid over $100 million this offseason.
That's a lot of millions of dollars.
And those hundreds of millions of dollars, you're expecting, quality starts, consistency, I think, is the main key here. And he has not been consistent. He has a total ERA of 5.27, a whip of 1.413.
Yeah.
He leads All-American League in earned runs. So that just shows how bad it is. But I do want to throw this out here just to give him a little bit of a devil's advocate. What is funny is, speaking of quality starts, he does have 16 quality starts, which is still pretty good, but of 30 starts. So basically every other start, you're going to get crap.
He sucks.
You're going to be crap.
So, yeah, Jose Berrios is a weird one, guys, because I think that a lot of us are still trying to figure out why and what went wrong and, what's just not adding up, because you look at his whole career and pretty much everything was like, we're getting better, we're getting better, we're getting better. We're 28 years old now. We're about to break out, and then just, horrible.
For me, it looks like people are on his fastball, and I think you see, throughout the course season, the dip of the fastball usage is a factor. He's trying to adjust. It's not working still. He still gets blown up. So we'll see what he can do. Hopefully in 2023, bounce back and not be as disappointing.
Really needs a whole off season to move with a pitching coach, a trainer, all that stuff, and go back to basics and just figure
make
out
an adjustment.
Exactly.
Make an adjustment.
We do need to make an adjustment because that contract is looking bad right now. Another dude kind of in a similar boat as Jose Berrios, maybe not with the massive $100 million extension, but still a guy who was wow, he's getting better, 28 years old as well, about to break out for real, and then complete flop. That's White Sox pitcher Lucas Giolito. I know that you drafted him, or you kept him in fantasy.
I kept him. He was a keeper.
And now I think he's chilling on the waiver wire, as he kind of should.
Well, he's about to. I got to drop him very soon when it comes time. But Lucas Giolito, 5.05 ERA. The whip is just gross at 1.477.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. He hasn't had a big extension, but it looked like he was about to get it. He's got one more year after this, and with this blemish on his resume,
it's hard to promise the money.
You can't really give him that much money. I personally, because I don't really follow Lucas that heavily other than fantasy, I don't know what his problem is, but it's definitely a letdown.
Yeah, because he had 3 seasons in a row there where it was quality pitcher.
Big strikeout guy.
The type of guy that you want to have on your staff. I mean, I remember speaking from a fantasy perspective, I think it was in 2019 where he broke out. I found him on the waivers, and then he lived on my team for the rest of the time, and I was like, wow, this guy's amazing. And then to see this coming in this season now, it's just what was that? What went wrong? Him and Jose Berrios, maybe they need to get in a room together, talk about some stuff, figure out what the hell we're doing wrong right now, because something's not going right for those two boys.
Yeah, absolutely. And now another pitcher, and this is the last pitcher on this list. This guy was one of the best pitchers in baseball, undoubtedly. If you were to say who is the best pitcher of the bullpen caliber, it's this guy. And then he gets traded. And then he's really, really bad. Right. And I don't know what's going on. That man is Josh Hader.
Yeah, and I do want to just cycle back there a little bit because, yes, he got traded, and yes, he was horrible after he got traded, but there was sprinkles of kind of badness going on before he got traded.
The Brewers thought there was something going on, and they got rid of him.
Yeah. Now, at the time when the Brewers got rid of him, I think a lot of us, myself included, was like, this is a bit of an overreaction. Josh Hader's had 2 weeks of badness, 3 weeks of badness, and you're going to ship him off? Clearly, they saw something that, is just on a deeper level of baseball that, we don't understand and a lot of other people don't understand.
And they couldn't afford him.
And they probably could. Well, I mean, now they fucking could.
Now they could.
Yeah, now it's well, I don't even know if you want to afford him at this point, right?
Yeah.
This guy's got a negative 1.1 WAR. His ERA is up to 5.63. That is gross for a guy who had a 1.23 ERA last year. And what's really crazy about Josh Hader, too, is he started off the first two, basically right up until trade deadline, that period of time, it was wow, it's Josh Hader being incredible again. And then it's just completely off a cliff.
Yeah, what I've been hearing from a lot of people who follow the Padres and Josh Hader specifically is there's something wrong with his arm angle. He actually got sent down to get it worked on. And ever since, he's been a little bit better. But overall, since the trade, 9 ERA plus. So this is another one of those situations where get in the offseason, reset. Not so much about what are we going to adjust towards the hitters are getting to me, but what can I do mechanically to get back to being the best?
Exactly, because same with the other two guys here, even more so with Josh Hader. Clearly, you are extremely talented. Something's just going wrong here, and a few minor tweaks, you're probably back to being dominant. So hopefully he figures it out. Speaking of the San Diego Padres, we have another guy on their squad who's really disappointed us for more reason than one, and that is Fernando Tatis Jr. Big injury off the top. I mean, I was doing some research for this basically video, reading some articles, and somebody said hey, explain to me why this guy is not Troy Tulowitzki Part 2, based on, the injuries that he's had of late. And I was I guess I can't really.
Right.
But then also, too, the whole PED thing and the whole, I got ringworm, but I don't really have ringworm, it just a massive disappointment. He hasn't even played a game yet, so it's not like he's been bad, but you could argue that he's been the worst because he hasn't played a game yet.
Right, and for a franchise who paid him over $300 million, you're paying him to stay on the field, and first of all, it's different levels of disappointing. First of all, there's 3 stages. He got injured before this season. It was okay, disappointment. Then he gets injured in the offseason for going around on the motorcycle and doing shit he should not be doing. That's a little I'm disappointed in you. You got to smarten up and not do that. Then he gets the PED, and now it's another level of dude, it's almost not even disappointing. It's it's kind of sad and pathetic. Wake up, mature a little bit, dude. You're getting paid $300+ million to come on the field every day and perform, be the best player on the field, and you're not doing it. This is another level of disappointment.
And also, too, when you give somebody over $300 million, I don't think you're just at that point paying them to, give you 100 ribbies every year, even though, that'd definitely be nice. There's also a level of, hey, you're our team now. You're the face of the San Diego Padres. If I don't know, Jake Cronenworth wants to go off, that's going to suck, but, we're not as tied to Jake Cronenworth as we are to Fernando Tatis Jr. You are the leader. We want to mold you to be the man for a whole decade, and right now, to have this be kind of the season following that massive extension, big disappointment, and you have to wonder moving forward, it's okay, is this going to be one of those things where 5 years later we forget all about it? Or is this going to be one of those things where it's Tatis is just not the guy?
Is it a character issue? And I think that's a legitimate question that you might need to start asking, right now.
Literally, dude. Last guy on this list who clearly does have some character issues, and that's majorly why he is here, is Marcell Ozuna. This guy, big disappointment. Once again, we're talking about some things on the field, some things off the field. Ozuna, in 2020, he gets paid by the Atlanta Braves, 4 years, $65 million. It's looking like an incredible steal at the time, because in 2020, he's right up there for the MVP conversation. OPS well over 1. Batting average of .338, incredible stuff. Then the next season hits, and he has some issues with the police. Aggravated assault, the victim being his wife. gross, dude.
Domestic violence.
Yeah, full up, messed up levels of crap right there. So then we go about thinking, it's like, okay, Marcell Ozuna, like, you're in big timeout mode right now, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you just did a fucking no-no right there. Like, you gotta go. You gotta deal with your stuff outside of baseball, and you better come back being thankful if you even get another chance, which he gets. And then a few months later, is fucking caught on camera with a police officer being like, I'm Marcell Ozuna of the Atlanta Braves, drunk out of his ass, driving around a vehicle.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Big DUI for that man. And, like, look, he's been shitty off the field, and then it's directly impacted his performance on the field. This year, he has a 678 OPS.
Yeah.
All before these last 2 years of garbage, he had an 801 OPS.
Yeah.
A batting average of 276. And clearly, all this stuff off the field, once he got paid, he just didn't care, and he let his true colors show a little bit here, and it's affecting his play. So I'm really disappointed, as the video is saying, in Marcell Ozuna, because you had a chance to be one of the greats, a great addition to that Atlanta Braves lineup.
And that's the thing, dude. It's like, they won, and you weren't even there.
You weren't even there.
You literally missed out on them winning the World Series because you were doing some fucked up shit at home with your significant other, you know, which you should never be doing. So, yeah, Marcell Ozuna, that is just like one big storyline that's like, I don't even know, man. And especially after the 2020 year.
Yeah, like, what are you doing, dude?
You literally, it's like, oh, wow, Marcell Ozuna is here
and he gets paid, and it's like, you don't you want to be the guy? Like, I don't understand this, man. Character issues.
Very, very stupid. So, everybody, there is 5 MLB players right there who are very disappointing, all for mildly different reasons, but at the end of the day, all of them have been impacted on the field and have just not given the level of production that they should have, guys. Hopefully these boys can figure their off-the-field antics off and also, like, just figure their on-the-field stuff off and get a lot better in the future.
I agree. Guys, let us know in the comments down below, who do you think should also be on this list for most disappointing player of the 2022 season? Let us know.
Also, guys, $3 a month become a Patreon member. Shout out and thank you to every single one of our current Patreon members. You guys are awesome.
And guys, thank you so much for watching.
And
Go Jays, go!